guys, I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I believe this is the last look of this video. But before I get into what I'm wearing on my eyes, I made a mutual decision with myself that I'm going to return the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I'm not really into it. I'm really not. I feel like these shades, they're beautiful. The shimmers are really pretty. But other than that, as I look at this, I love Natasha Denona. Don't get me wrong. I love her palettes. But I just do not see myself using this enough for me to justify keeping it. It's just, the matte selection is not enough for me. It's not doing it for me. The shimmers are really, really pretty. But I just find that I was more into the Yucca palette and the My Dream palette. The My Dream palette is like my perfect neutral palette from her, that I don't really need this. I am, again, just not impressed with the matte selection enough in here to keep it. Not really a cool tone person. I feel like the looks are more limiting in this palette because the matte selection is just not doing it for me. So I'm taking it back because I thought it was so pretty when I got it, and I was very I think I was very sucked into the hype of this palette, and now I'm just like, after using it a few times, I'm like, I'm not into it. I'm really not, and I don't care if they just throw it out because I'd rather not waste my own money, because I'm sure she'll be fine if I return the palette, so I don't think it really matters. And again, you should not feel guilty for returning products that you're just not really into, because at the end of the day, it's your money you're spending, and these companies are still going to make millions of dollars. And I don't understand the mentality of being like, well, I don't like if they just throw it out. Then too bad. You used it. You still used the product. It's not a waste if you used it enough and you determine that you don't like it. Same thing with the Fenty stick. I thought I was going to love it. I didn't. I returned it. So I'm not being out that money if I'm not crazy about a product, especially if it comes from Sephora or Ulta, because I can return whatever I want at Sephora if I don't like it. So it's going back. So anyway, I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I just used my Amicole lip oil, and then I set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder, and then I decided to go back into the Bella Beaute Bar, the Sun and the Sea palette again, because I love this palette. Like, this is a palette that inspires me. The shimmers in here are absolutely insane, and I've just said that Indie does it better anyway. But after the last two hits for me that I picked up from Natasha Denona, I really thought I was going to love that palette, but again, just the matte selection is just too light for me, and all the other shades are cool tones. I'm like, I'm not really a cool tone girl. Even though the shades in here are, you know, very kind of repetitive with the mattes, they have enough pigment and enough dimension for me that I don't get bored with these. And then there's pops of color. And the shimmers in here are absolutely insanely gorgeous, that I just see myself using this palette more. And I do want to get more use out of it, so I'm glad I used it today as well. So I just did a very simple matte crease. I just used the same 3 shades that I used yesterday pretty much. I went in with Sunbathe in the crease, and I darkened it up more with Beach Babe. And then I just used Basque like I usually do to deepen up. And then I finally went into the last shimmer I needed to test in this palette, which is Sunkissed. And this is such a beautiful, like, multi-dimensional greeny yellowish gold. It's so fucking beautiful. And then I just used tan lines, of course, on the brow bone. I almost said like brow line. And then for my inner corners, I just went in with the shade Daydream, and that's everything that I used, and I love it. I love this look. I think it's so pretty. These shades are much more impactful to me, and I cannot wait to use it again. I think I'm going to use it tomorrow as well, and then I'll figure out what I want to use Sunday, because originally I was going to use the Natasha Denona on Sunday, but now I'm like, why am I wasting the time if I'm not crazy about it? Like, I'm not going to force myself to use a palette that I'm not crazy about. So, and most of the palettes that I feel that way about, I'm decluttering. or I'm only keeping them for the packaging, pretty much. And then for my inner corner, for my waterline, I just use my LA Go brown liner. And then, of course, the Essence Lash Primer on my top lashes. And then I actually picked up another one of my ColourPop Act Natural mascaras. So I got this yesterday, so I wanted to use it today. I just missed it in my collection. It's just such a good mascara. And then I went in with the Lash Discovery on my bottom lashes. And then for my face, I used the Beaute spray. And then, of course, I used the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer again. I really have been liking this a lot. And then I used the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil in the shade Pale Light because I really do love this still. And I felt like using it today. And then for my concealer, I used my Maybelline Instant Age... No, not that one. That's the Makeup by Mario. The Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline. It's still one of my favorite concealers, and I've been using the Tower 28 one a lot, so I wanted to go into this one, even though it's like my 5th tube of that. And then I just set my under eyes with the Becca Hydra Mist powder, and then I used the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder to set the rest of my face. And then for my bronzer, I decided to go into the Ilia bronzer today. This is the shade Drawn In, so I just used that guy. And then for my cheeks, for my blush, I went into my Say blush today, the Glow Sculpt Peach Glow blush. And this is just such a pretty blush because it looks more intense in the pan than it is on the face, and it's just such a pretty, like, easy cream blush formula. It's still really, really nice. It's definitely one of my favorites. And then I set my face again with the Beaute spray, and then I just went in with my ColourPop Brow Boss Gel for my brows. And then for my lips, I just went into my e.l.f. Sheer Stick again. This is one of my favorite all-time favorite products in the shade Golden Pear. I freaking love it. It's just such a pretty warm tone lippy, and I'm just so into the glowy lips right now that just these are the only products that I want to use. So yeah, I really need to use some other lip products soon though, but yeah, that's it. Bye. And then this is the last look of the video, so please, I was about to leave the house and then I forgot that I didn't tell you guys what highlighter I'm wearing. So I'm using the Master Chrome by Face Studio Metallic Highlighter in the shade 250. This one was limited edition. Did pigment just fall out of there? I was like, what happened? ADD for ya. What happened? But this is the highlighter that I'm wearing. This one was in collaboration with Nikki Tutorials, and this became one of my favorite highlighters. Maybelline makes some bomb highlighters, but yeah, that's all I had to say. And I didn't want to say it later because I felt like I was going to forget. So yeah, now bye for real. Okay, so hey there guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I just got home from work, kind of feeling this natural wavy hair, and I really like how my makeup held up today. It looked really pretty. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer and then used the Amigo lip oil. And then I set my eyes with my Urban Decay Naked Powder. And also completely disregard what I said in the first clip about it being the last look of that video. It's clearly the first look of this video because I got confused and I thought I had already done 7 looks with that video, but it turned out to be 8. Well, I already did 7, but I accidentally said that the 8th look of that video was the last look, and I would have included it because sometimes I do 8 looks, but it would have been way too long. So yeah, just disregard that. So I went into the Bella Beaute bar, the Sun and the Sea palette again today. I just really wanted to, like I said, get some more use out of it during the past couple of days. So after this, I will be using other palettes. So I went in with Overexposed first in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Beach Babe. And then I used Basque on the outer corners, which is what I usually do. I use those shades a lot. And then for the lid, I went in with the shade Heat Wave. And it's just such a pretty, like, dual-chrome shimmer. And then I just went in with a tiny bit of Daydream over that because I just wanted to make it a bit more golden tone, and it just turned out really pretty. And then I also used Daydream on the inner corners as well because it's just such a beautiful, like, duochrome goldy shade. And then for the lower lash line, I wanted to go into Deep Dive just to pull in a little bit of the blue that's in the hoodie that I'm wearing, and it just turned out so pretty. And then I just used tan lines on the brow bone as per usual, and I really love how this look turned out. I mean, I love every look that I do with this palette. It always turns out so beautiful. And then for the waterline, I went in with the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Outer Space. This is literally falling out of the tube. So I literally had to take it after it fell out and apply that to my waterline. Like, I'm just so pissed that this literally like barely functions anymore. So there's that. And then I just prime my lashes with my Essence Lash Primer. And then I used, where'd it go? I used my Valentino mascara today, but I can't seem to find it right now. But it's just in a red tube. So yeah, I just used that mascara today. I don't know where it is. It's right here. Went in with the Valentino mascara. And it's like the only one that they offer. So it's just in that red tube. And then I just used the Lash Discovery by Maybelline on the bottom lashes as per usual. And then I primed my face with the Do It spray. I don't know why I brain farted there. And then I used the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, of course, to prime. And then for my concealer and foundation, I just went in with my favorite combo, the Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Stay True Foundation. And this is in the shade 1R02. And then I went in with the concealer in the shade 1.1N. I wanted to go in with this combo again. I still love the foundation. The foundation's so beautiful on my skin. I just love how it looks even after it's been a few hours. And even though it's emphasizing my pores a little bit here and around my nose, it still makes my makeup and my skin look so beautiful. But I wanted to use the concealer today to see how I feel about this one as compared to the Tower 28 in the Makeup by Mario. And I still really, really like this one a lot. It still looks good underneath the eyes. And I've been wearing my makeup since like 10 a.m. this morning. It's like 6 o'clock right now, so it's been a good 8 hours. And I still think everything looks beautiful. So, and then I set my under eyes with my Pat McGrath powder, and then I set my face with the same Urban Decay powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went in with my House Labs bronzer in the shade Light Level 1. I just wanted to use it again today. It's just one of my go-tos. And then for my cheeks, I wanted to go into the Blend Bunny palette again today. I just really have been loving the formula in this. I can never open this. I swear to God. I have to use a scissor, which is a bit annoying. But it's okay. So I used the Bare Cheeks blush palette, and I went in with the shade In Charge. I really have been enjoying this formula so much. It's one of the best formulas I've tried this year, to be honest. It is very pigmented though, so I would say just dip lightly and then kind of just, you know, dab it off with a tissue and then just apply it. And it turns out beautiful. It's so blendable and pretty. And I just really wanted to use that orangey shade today. So it just turned out really, really nice. I really like it a lot. And then for the highlighter, I went into my Kaleidos Diamond Dasher highlighter because it's always one of my favorites, and I love the Kaleidos highlighters, and it just looks so beautiful, so I used that. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went in with a new lippy today. I picked this up a couple of days ago from Urban Decay. So this is the Urban Decay Lip Bond in the shade Safe Word. I do have this in the regular lipstick, but I guess I wanted to pick it up. I always end up picking up Urban Decay's lipsticks in like every form. I really like their lippies, and this is really, really nice. It's very comfortable on the lips. It lasted a long time. I barely had to reapply it. I actually really like this formula, and I heard mixed reviews about it. I think it's very comfortable on the lips, and the comfort's literally like my #1 thing. If I have to reapply something, it's not really a big deal to me. It is getting a little bit of a like ring here, but it looks really good. So I really liked it. So yeah, that's it. So I have a barbecue to go to tomorrow. And I have a new palette to use tomorrow because I'm a psychopath, and I picked up another ColourPop palette. And I ordered another palette online today from Fantasy Cosmetica because I returned the Natasha Denona one. So it's like now I'm like, now I can try the palettes I really want. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I actually just filmed this look, so it will be up soon. But I used a new eyeshadow palette today because, like I said in the last clip, I did return the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette and picked up this palette instead, and I am obsessed with the way this look turned out. I think it turned out so pretty. So I primed my eyes with my ColourPop Party Proof Primer and then used the Amico lip oil, of course, and then I set my eyes with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for the eyeshadow palette today, I went in with the ColourPop new 9 pan, and this is called the Rock On palette, and I'm really loving how the shadows turned out. I think it's pigmented. I think it's beautiful. Y'all know I love my warm tones, so I don't know. There was just something about this palette that I really liked, and I decided to pick it up. I passed it a few times in Ulta, and I'm like, I think I want this. So I went and picked it up after work yesterday because I really wanted to use it today. So I used the shade Rock My World in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with what is it called? Fave Hike. And then I used Trail Mix on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I went into the center shade, which is called Sedona. And it's just such a pretty orangey shimmer. And then for the brow bone, I tried to use Road Trippin', but it's a little bit too dark for my fair skin. So I just went into Blanc Type, of course, by MAC. But then for the lower lash line, I went into the shade Fave Hike again and just smudged that on the lower lash line. And then for my inner corners, I went in with the shade Vortex, and it's such a beautiful inner corner highlight. So yeah, really like this palette. Very pretty. And then for my waterline, I just want to put that away. I used the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Outer Space. I just wanted to put a little bit of a pop of blue under there just to tie in the blue in the heart of my shirt because I'm wearing my Lady and the Tramp shirt. And then for my mascara, I just went in with my Essence Lash Primer, and then I went in with the ColourPop Level Up Mascara. I picked up a backup of this as well, along with the Act Natural Mascara, and this one's in the shade Brown. So this one is like a little bit more natural for everyday. But I thought that I picked up black in both of them this time, but honestly it's totally fine because I'll still use this up anyway. And I kind of like having at least one brown mascara for everyday use. So I put that on the top and bottom lashes. And then for my primer, I primed with the Do It Spray and then the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. Really have been loving this one, so I've been using this almost every day. It's a really good primer. And then for my face, I'm going to be out at my friend's house for a barbecue, so usually for Labor Day. So this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Hydrator, and this is the shade 10 Ultra Fair. I always go in with this when I know I'm going to be outside for a long time because it really just lasts a really long time. I would have went in with it for the beach, but I think I'm going to use the Cali Ray Skin Tint on Tuesday because I'm going to the beach on Tuesday. So for our last summer beach day. And then for my concealer, I just went in with my Milani Conceal and Perfect in the shade 110 Nude Ivory because I love this concealer. So I just went in with that guy. And it's a really long-lasting concealer as well. And I always love pairing it with the hydrator from Urban Decay. And then I just used the Becca Hydra Mist powder and then my Pretty Fresh powder to set the rest of my face. And then for my bronzer, I went in with the Tower 28 bronzer because I wanted something like glowy and light today. So I went in with the Bronzino highlighter in the shade Suncoast. I believe it's called Suncoast. I always get confused with Tower 28's names. Whether or not that's actually the name of the line of bronzers or the shade name of the shade. So, and then for my blush, I went into the Blend Bunny Bare Cheeks palette again, and I went in with the shade Making Me Blush again. That's only the second time I've used it, and it's such a pretty like orangey shade. I love it. I'm kind of a little fallish today. I'm starting to feel a bit of the fall vibes. I love summertime, but I'm kind of, after this week, I'm probably going to be in full fall mode. We'll see. We'll see. Depends on what I'm feeling for my makeup looks. But I just wanted something neutral but warm tone today. And this is also like a summer palette because there's like summery names in here. Like Summer Heat, because it's supposed to be kind of, I feel like, inspired by the Grand Canyon, or, you know, something that's like more deserty kind of rock vibes. It sounds so stupid, but that's really what I feel like was the inspiration for it. But it gives you a really pretty like burnt orange kind of look for the fall time as well, but still summery but also fallish, and that's why I picked it up, because I wanted it to be like that kind of transition-y kind of palette for me, like the Lust for Dusk palette is from ColourPop. So, and then for my highlighter, I went into the Be Perfect Cosmetics highlighter in the shade, can I open this? In the shade 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It's just a really, really beautiful goldeny toned highlighter, and I love it. I'm obsessed. It's one of my favorites. And then I just set my face with my Do It spray and a bit of the Milk Makeup spray. And then I just went in with the ColourPop Brow Boss Gel. And then for my lips, I just went into a lip oil. I actually picked this up yesterday after exchanging the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. And this is the Say Glossy Bounce Hydrating Lip Oil in the shade Push. It's a really pretty color, just very easy lippy to wear. And usually when I go to their house, 99% of the time, I'm either wearing one of my glowing lips from ColourPop or like a light lip oil or something like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to go. I need to go to Target first to pick up Truly's. It's probably going to be a madhouse there though, because it's a Sunday on a holiday weekend, but it's okay because I'm leaving in like 10-15 minutes. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I actually really like how this look turned out. It's really pretty. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then used the Micole lip oil, and then set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my eyeshadow, I wanted to go back into the ColourPop Rock On palette again, because I really wanted to use it again, because I was really impressed with the quality yesterday, so I wanted to use it again today. So I used the shade Fave Hike in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Red Rocks, and then on the outer corners I just used Trail Mix again. And then for my lid I used Summer Heat, which is a really, really pretty, like, it's kind of like a reddish orange, but it looks so pretty. And then for the inner corners, I just used Chasing Sunsets. I originally was going to use that one on my lid, but then I decided to wear something redder today. And I kind of like that the Chasing Sunsets shade is a bit more subtle on the inner corners. But I think that this came out really nicely. It took me a little while to blend the crease shades, so it might look a little bit unblended, but when I looked in the mirror in the bathroom, it actually looks better than it does in my room for some reason, when usually it's like the other way around and it just looks worse. So yeah, I really am enjoying this. So now I only have to use this shade and this shade on the lid, but it's such an easy palette to use, and I really have been liking it. For the next couple of days, I'm probably going to be using a couple of other different palettes. I'm not just going to be using this palette every day, so you guys will see a couple of other palettes. And then for my waterline, I used the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Joyride, because I wanted a little bit of that red. And then for my mascara, I just used the ColourPop Act Natural mascara again in the shade Black. And then I just used, of course, my Essence Lash Primer. And then I used the Lash Discovery by Maybelline on the bottom lashes, as always. And then for my face, I actually used 2 different primers today, because I wanted to do a comparison between these 2 primers. But honestly, I don't really see too much of a difference at all. It might be a little bit different as, you know, I finished my makeup. So I decided to compare, if I can find the other primer, because again, this whole thing is just a freaking mess. And I don't know why I can never find anything. But basically, what I did is that I compared the Say Star Glow Super Gel Primer to the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. I just can't seem to find the Rare Beauty one right now. I really don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Now I found it. Sorry. So I wanted to compare these two primers with each other. And I used the Rare Beauty on the right side of my face and the Say on the left side of my face. And pretty much there's not really a difference at all. I don't really see any defining differences. This might be slightly more glowy, but I think it's just because I didn't set this as much as this side, but also like it looks completely fine. But I do find it's a bit more glowy here. So I don't really know what the difference is, but I wanted to compare to see if I needed both. I mean, honestly, obviously I'm going to finish up the Say one, but I think I'm going to return the Say one. You know what? I might just keep it though, just in the future. After I use up this, I can just start using the other one again. But I feel like these are primers that I'm probably not going to use in the like winter time, because I feel like they're more so light summer primers. And of course I used my Beaute spray underneath that to hydrate my face, but my face feels very hydrated right now. And then I went in with my Tower 28 Sunny Days Broad Spectrum SPF 30. I'm still trying to use this up. Like, it takes me so long to get through face products, I swear, but I feel like I'm almost done. We're almost there, but this is still kicking and it still looks gorgeous on my skin. It's one of my all-time favorite tinted moisturizers. And then for my concealer, I wanted to wear the two together again, so I just used the Tower 28 concealer. I've been using this concealer a lot. This is the shade BH whatever. It's like the lightest shade. I think it's like 0.1.0 or something like that. I don't even know. I did use a couple of different concealers the past couple of days, but I wanted to go back to this one today, so I used that. And then for my powder, I just used the Becca powder underneath my eyes again, the Hydro Mist powder, and then I just set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went into my ColourPop Alviva Beach bronzer, one of my favorites. I'm still trying to hit pan on this as well. I think I'm almost there, but every time I say that, I don't really get any closer, but I keep on seeing like the imprint design, but it's not getting closer to hitting pan, but probably one day soon. And then for my blush, I wanted to go back. I said blush. For my blush, I wanted to go back into the Blend Bunny Bare Cheeks palette again, because I really wanted to use the red shade, because since I was wearing something redder today, I thought I would use the red blush. So this shade is called Power Play. So now I've used 6 out of the 8 shades, and this is a really, really pretty red. I actually think that this red shade blended out better than the orange shade did yesterday, but it still looks really good. I really like it, and I only had to dip into the pan once for each side, and then I like tapped it off, because it again is very pigmented, but they're so beautiful and blendable. So I am still really enjoying this palette. And then for my highlight, I used a very old one, but a goodie, because I just wanted a good gold today. So I just went into my Anastasia Amrezy highlighter. I kind of got reminded to use this again because Annette's Makeup Corner actually started doing this type of series on her channel. Hers are called Makeup Diaries, and she used this highlighter in hers in one of her looks, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to whip that highlighter out again. And it's just such a beautiful highlighter. It's still one of my favorites. It's one of my oldest ones, and it's still a great highlighter, like even better than some of my highlighters that I have today, like that are newer. And then I set my face again with the Do It spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I just wanted a good warm tone lippy, so I just went into my Haus Labs lip crayon. This is the Le Monster lip crayon 2.0 in the shade Peach Matte, and it's just such a pretty, easy matte lippy. And I could have left it like that, but I wanted a little bit of gloss, so I went into the Milk Makeup Odyssey lip oil gloss again. I just love this product. It just makes my lips look so plump and juicy, but it's just so comfortable on top. Like, it doesn't feel goopy or sticky or like too thick in any way. It's just so lightweight, feels so nourishing, and just gives your lips such a beautiful shine to them. So really love this product. I really have been loving it the past couple weeks. So yeah, that's it. Bye. I'm just going to my boyfriend's house today, and then tomorrow I'm going to the beach for the last beach day of the summer, which is crazy. I can't believe the summer is over. And the barbecue I went to yesterday was really fun. So yeah, bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Amico lip oil, of course, and then I set my eyes with my Dior Backstage powder today because I wanted something a bit lighter for my face. So I used that for my eyes too. I'm actually going to a game night with my friend. I'm just waiting for him to get here, and then we're going to go to my friend's house and have a game night. We actually haven't had a game night together since before my friend went to Japan. He went to Japan a couple of weeks ago, and we haven't had a game night since he's come back, so we're finally doing it. This was actually a little bit impromptu because originally I was supposed to go to the beach today, and I think I said that in the clip yesterday. But both of my friends just weren't feeling that great. So I asked my other friend if she wanted to have a game night, and they were all down, so it just kind of ended up happening. So I'm wearing my Winnie the Pooh Eeyore shirt. I just wanted to wear like a comfy t-shirt, and for my eyes today I wanted to go into the Cosmic Brushes Muse palette. Like I said, I did want to use a couple of palettes that I haven't went into in a little while. So I wanted to use this guy, and I really like how this look turned out. It's really pretty. So I finally went in with the shade Admire again in the crease. I really haven't used that shade that often on the top of my eyes. I usually would use it on the lower lash line, but I've only used it twice. I've only used it once on the top and once on the bottom. So I really wanted to tie in like the yellow in this shirt. And I think it turned out so pretty. And then I darkened up the crease more with some of the shade Petal. And I think that was really, really pretty to go with as well. I wanted a yellow and pink look mostly. And then on the outer corners, of course, I went in with the shade Fig. And then for my lid, I finally went into the shade Luster again. I don't think I've actually used that shade more than once on my lid. But the reason why I have a dip in this shade as opposed to any of the other shimmers is that usually when I use this palette, I always use this shade on my inner corners because it's such a stunning inner corner highlight. So I put that on my lid, and it's gorgeous. And then for my lower lash line, I went into the shade Sweet Pea and smudged that underneath. And then for my inner corners, I went in with the shade Muse, which is just a really gorgeous like pinky gold highlighty shade. I still love this palette. Every time I use it, I'm blown away by the quality. So I just wanted to go back into it again because I want to get use out of it as much as I possibly can this year. So that's what I used today. And then for my brow bone, I went in with the shade Brighter Days from the Blend Bunny Forget Me Not palette. I really have been loving that as my underbrow highlight. It's just such a good like completely skin tone highlighter for me, and it's just a really good shade to use. And then I primed my face with the Do It spray, of course, and then my e.l.f. Power Grip primer. I'm almost done with this. I'm trying to use it up, and then I can finally go into the new one that I have. And then for my foundation, I wanted to go into the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear foundation again. This is still my all-time favorite foundation. It really is amazing on the skin. So this one's in the shade 120N, so I just wanted to go in with that again because I've only used it once since I've repurchased it. So I was like, I need to use it again today. And then for my concealer, I haven't been into this one for a little while, so I wanted to use it today. So this is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Quickie Concealer in the shade 10NN, and it looks so good with this foundation. It's still a really good concealer. This is probably my favorite full coverage concealer besides the Tarte one. This one always works great. Urban Decay makes great concealers. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath powder, and then I set my face with the Dior powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into my Pat McGrath Labs bronzer in the shade Naked Desire, just one of my favorites, and I just wanted to use it today. And then for my blush, I finally went back into the Haus Labs what are these called again? Color Fuse blush in the shade Lavender Blonde. I thought it would just be a really pretty, like, pinky, almost purpley kind of blush for this look, and it works absolutely perfectly. And then for my highlight, I just went into my Blend Buddy Noctilucent palette. This has just become one of my go-to highlighting palettes. I mean, it always is in front of me as well, but also, like, if I need a colorful highlighter, I always go into this one because it is right next to me. But I just went into the shade Philomena, which is a gorgeous, like, duochrome pinky purpley highlight, and it worked absolutely perfectly for this look. And then I set my face with my Milk Makeup Spray, and then I set my brows with my e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my, as I'm pointing to my brows, for my lips, I went into, oh, I forgot to tell you guys what I use for mascara and liner. I don't know why I do that sometimes. So for my liner, I went into a new shade that I got from Ulta. This is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade 2 Can Do It. And I thought it would be really pretty to tie in a bit of the yellow. And I really like that I decided to use that. This is the first time I'm using it, and it's a really nice one from ColourPop. And then, of course, I used my Essence Lash Primer. And then for my mascara, I went into the Give by Gwen Stefani mascara sample that I have. This is the Can't Stop Staring mascara. And then I used the Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then for my lips, I went into the ColourPop Lippy Pencil in the shade Good and Plenty. And then for my liquid lipstick, I went into the Fenty Beauty Fenty Icon Velvet Liquid Lipstick in the shade Sea Sweetheart. I don't know if my friend was here yet because I know he left a bit earlier from work and I need to get my jewelry on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I really love how it turned out. So bye. Okay, so hi, I just want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I've been doing pretty good about having my makeup on when I've said most of the looks that I've done this week, but today I just worked and I just wanted to get to work when I did my makeup. So I did get ready early enough to get to work, but I just filmed the clip obviously before I left. So anyway, I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer and then of course the Miyako lip oil, and then I used the Dior Backstage powder again to set my eyes. And then today I decided to go into one of my Nomad palettes and I used the Nomad Verona Amor y Muerte palette because I don't know, I've been kind of wanting to do a couple of pink looks lately. It's just what I've been feeling, and basically my second favorite looks to do besides warm toned neutral looks are pink toned looks. So I wanted to whip out this palette again and use this side. And even though like some of the pinks, like especially these two, aren't really too different from each other, the look still turns out so pretty that it doesn't really matter if there's not enough differentiation because the shadows just work so well. The mattes in here are so good. I want to do a Nomad palette ranking at some point. I'm also eyeing their new palette. So the fact that like I've been wanting to pick up every Nomad launch this year says a lot. But I haven't used Nomad in a little while because the last time I used a Nomad palette was when I was using the Akavango Safari palette. So I wanted to whip this palette out because I haven't used this palette in a few months at least. So I was like, I need to whip this out and use it again. And again, I really wanted to use the pinks in this palette, and what better palette to use than this one. So I went in with Paradise first in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Balcony, and then I used Rose on the outer corners, but I also took it on the defining area as well just to saturate it a bit more with the pink. And then I just went in with the shade Cupid all over the lid because this shade and this shade were the only two shades that I haven't used more than once on my lid. So I wanted to use Cupid. So the only other one I really need to use again is Moors, but I probably won't go back into this palette until like the fall time. We'll see. I do have one new palette to use this week, and I want to use the ColourPop Rock On palette a little bit more as well. So, but at least I got to use a couple of palettes that I haven't used in the past couple of days. And then I just went in with Romeo on the inner corners, and then I used the shade Balcony again on the lower lash line, and that was it. It was a pretty simple pink look, but it was very impactful and effective. I only used these 5 shades and it still looks so pretty. Like, I didn't really want to deepen it up with a brown or a black. I just really liked the impactful hot pink, so I'm glad that that's all I had to use. And then for my brow bone, I just went in with the Blend Bunny Cosmetic palette again, and I went in with the white shade because I really have been liking this palette to do that with. And then for my face, I just primed with the Do It spray and then the e.l.f. Hydro Grip Primer or Power Grip Primer, whatever it's called. But let me finish up what I used on my eyes first because I always forget to do that. So I went in with a white liner today. I used the LA Girl Perfect Precision eyeliner. I have hair on my laptop. I believe this is the shade Arctic White. That's literally what it says. And then I just primed with my Essence Lash Primer, of course. And then I went in with my Valentino mascara. And this is one of my favorite mascaras that I purchased in a while. I really love this one and the Gwen Stefani one, but this one is awesome as well. I would say the Gwen Stefani one probably is the best transfer proof wise. I felt like when I wore this to the city, it didn't really hold up, more so like in like more humid air, or like just moving around more, I guess, because it did transfer a bit when I went to the city like a couple of weeks ago. But today it looked amazing. It didn't transfer at all, so made my lashes really long. I really do like this mascara a lot. I try to use it as much as I can. I definitely like this mascara more than the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick one, because that one would transfer a lot as well. So it's just such a good mascara. And then I just use the Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then for my foundation and concealer, I wanted to go in with the Makeup by Mario duo again. And I really, really love these together. I know I said this before, but I really, really love the Makeup by Mario foundation. I know a lot of people said like there was too much glitter in it. It was too dewy for them. But for me, y'all know I fucking love dewy foundations. And this is just so beautiful on my skin. I really do love it. I think it's been probably my most used foundation this year because it's just such a lightweight, beautiful complexion product for me. And it's just been a perfect summer foundation as well, like spring summer foundation, because it gives me that lightweight look that I absolutely love. And I don't find that this is sparkly or glittery in any way on my skin. I don't know what other people experience, because some people said it was too glittery or too shiny. I definitely think it's very, very dewy, but I don't see any glitters on my face when I put it on. So I freaking love this foundation. So I just went in with that, and then I went in with the coinciding concealer, and I still really enjoy this concealer as well. This is the Surreal Skin Awakening Concealer in the shade 120. I've also been trying to use some other concealers lately. I really do want to pick up the House Labs concealer, though. That actually launched, I believe, today, because now it's midnight. I know it's a little bit late right now. But I did watch a bunch of shows with my mom before this when I got home from work. So anyway, but I really want to compare that concealer with the Makeup by Mario and the Tower 28 one. So and then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then set my face with the Dior powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went in with my Gucci bronzer today. It's still my favorite in the shade 01. This is like the best luxury investment product that I've ever made, because I really do use the hell out of my bronzers usually. And then for my blush, I went in with a Melt blush today. This is the Melt blush in the shade Beaute, I believe it's called. This actually came free with a Melt order that I placed was it last year, or was it almost, I think it was the end of December. Have I had this a year and a half already? Wow. I really thought it was the end of last year, but that was actually the last time I used the Melt Muerte palette, which is what I ordered to get this blush, because this came free with an order of like $70 or more or something. But I've only used this, I think, like twice, And usually I try to use like a lot of hot pink blushes during the summertime. I didn't really get to do that this summer because I picked up so many freaking blushes the past month or so. But I really just wanted to whip that one out today, and it was super pretty. And then for my highlight, I went in with the Master Chrome by Face Studio metallic highlighter in the shade Molten Rose Gold. Love this highlighter. It's a tried and true favorite. These are fantastic highlighters from the drugstore. And then I just set my face with my Milk Makeup Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, let me just pull out my lipstick. It's somewhere in my bag. Did I already pull it out earlier? No, it's somewhere. The fuck is it? There it is. I feel like I talk way longer in the clips that I don't have makeup on as opposed to the ones that I have makeup on, because usually I'm like running out of the house when I tell you guys when I have makeup on. So yeah, for my lip liner, I went in with the Wet n Wild gel lip liner in the shade Pink Electro, and then for my lipstick, I went into the Alice in Wonderland lipstick again. This is the Velvet Blur lipstick in the shade Most Curious, and this is such a beautiful hot pink. But it's not, it's vibrant, but it's not like so terribly hot pink like this one. It's just so pretty on the lips. But yeah, I felt like I, you know, finally went back into some older products in my collection, because you can't always use all the newness all the time. But then for the rest of the week, I'm probably going to be using Pop's Rock On palette, and then possibly the new palette that I got. I'm not sure when that's going to fit in to my rotation, but I'm glad I got to go into a couple of other palettes this week. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I wanted to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I always feel like the volume's so low on these clips, so I'll try to turn it up a bit more. So I'm not exactly sure if I'm seeing my boyfriend today or not, but I did want to make a trip to Sephora before I figure out whether or not I'm seeing him, because he hasn't answered me since this morning, but it's fine. Like, honestly, today's a super hot day. So I wanted to keep my makeup pretty light and neutral, and I really, really like how it turned out. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I used the Amicole Lip Oil, and then I just set my eyes with the Pretty Fresh Powder, as always. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I wanted to go into the ColourPop Rock On palette again today. And I wanted to do a pretty neutral eye with it, and I really, really like how it turned out. So I really have been just enjoying this palette exactly for what I wanted it for, which is very neutral looks, but you can also get a very toned down look with it. You don't always have to go super warm toned. So I decided to go in with the shade Road Trippin' today to see how that would be as a crease color, and it actually built up just enough. So it was a lighter crease, but it still gave some color to my crease, and I really like how it looks. And then I darkened it up more with the shade Rock My World, which is just a standard neutral brown, and I really like that shade. And then, of course, I used the shade Trail Mix on the outer corner. And then for the lid, I really wanted to go into the shade Chasing Sunsets today, and it's just such a pretty, like, bronzy, goldy shade, and I really like it. And then for the inner corners, I just went in with the shade Vortex again, and that's all I used today. I might do something super similar to this look for Sunday for work, because I have to work earlier that day, and I'm thinking about just using the last shade that I need to use in this palette. And then I just used the Blend Bunny Forget Me Not brow bone highlight that I've been using, which is the shade Brighter Days. I've just been using that almost every day on my brow bone. And then I went in with the LA Girl liner in the shade Brown. Originally, I went in with the nude liner, but I kind of wanted a little bit more color today. So that's why I just went in with the brown, because since the eyes are so light, I just wanted to go in with that. Also, it's like a super hot day today. It's like 95 degrees here. It's like the hottest day of September, and I think of the entire summer today. So again, if I don't see him today, it's not the end of the world. And then I just prime my lashes with the Essence Lash Primer. And then for my mascara, I think I put it back already. I just used I think it's right here. the ColourPop Lengthening Mascara in the shade Brown. I just used it on the top and bottom lashes. And then for my face, I just primed with the Beaute spray and then the, I don't even know where I put it. It's right here in front of me. The Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. Again, I really have been absolutely loving this primer. So I think I'm going to take back my backup of the Say primer because I'm using this more at the current moment, but also I feel like I don't need both if I'm already trying to use up the other Say one. I'm just going to use this one. So the formula is so similar that I don't really need to keep both of them. Even though they're both amazing, again, they're like very similar products. And then for my face, I just went in with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer. This is the shade Fair 1N. I love this product. And again, I just wanted something super light. And then for my concealer, I just went in with the Tower 28 concealer. Again, I really love this concealer, but also I might film my favorites video later, so I wanted to go in with this one again. And this one is the shade BH something, I don't even know, but I wanted to go to, it's the lightest shade. I wanted to go to Sephora to check out the new House Labs concealer because it did launch today. I did already order it, but it's not supposed to come until Sunday, and I wanted to try it out for work on Sunday with the House Labs foundation. So if it comes earlier, then I'll keep it, but also sometimes my Sephora doesn't always have or certain Sephoras don't always launch in stores the same day as they do online. So that's why I wanted to see if they had it or not. If they don't, I'll just wait for it to come in the mail. Or I might go another day and see if they have it. And then where did I leave off? And then I set my under eyes with my Becca powder. I'm still trying to use this up, so hopefully soon. I've been using this almost every day. Then I don't work or go out to see a friend. And then I just set my face with my ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder again. And then for my bronzer, I went in with the Milani Dolce bronzer. Just because I wanted a light glowy bronzer today, and I absolutely love it. And then for my blush, I just wanted to go into, I was going to use my LYS blush today, but I wanted to just use something really neutral and just really light. So I just went into the Bare Cheeks palette again from Blend Bunny, and I just took the shade Just a Touch because it's just such a light, easy blush. It has a bit of warmth to it as well, but it just worked absolutely perfectly. So I just wanted to use that shade again because I've only used that one once, but this has been like my go-to blush palette. And then for my highlighter, I went in with my Milani Baked Highlighter in the shade Champagne d'Oro. And it's just such a beautiful, like, light champagne-y gold, so I just used that. And then for my face, I just set it with the Do It spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into the Say lip oil again. So this is the Say Glossy Bounce lip oil in the shade Push, and I really have been liking this one. So this is the second time I'm using it. It's just a lightweight, easy lip oil to wear. And that's it. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. I think I'm going to be using a new palette tomorrow, so just stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to go in with this one again because I didn't really want to do a first impressions on the palette that I got today. I want to use it tomorrow and Saturday. So yeah, that's it. Bye.